Hey guys, welcome back to our channel Stalk My Closet. If you haven't subscribed our channel yet, then do hit the subscribe button and also click the bell icon to get the new video notification. और अगर आप हमारे वीडियोस हिंदी में देखना चाहते हैं तो हमारे दूसरे चैनल इजी स्विंग ट्यूटोरियल्स पर देख सकते हैं. चैनल का लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में है. Now without further ado, let's get started. For today's project, I have taken 2 meter printed cotton fabric and 3 meter contrast plain fabric. And this is the measurement I'm using. You can adjust it according to your requirement. Firstly, I'll cut the back bodies, and for that I have cut out the required length, that is 15.5 inch, including half inch for seam allowance from the fabric. And I have folded the fabric once in width. Now I'll mark the measurements. For shoulder, take half of shoulder width. In my measurement, shoulder width is 13.5 inch, so half of it is 6.75 inch. Neck width is 3 inch. Mark half inch downwards for shoulder slope and join it to the neck width point. From this point, mark half of armhole round, that is 7 inch in my measurement. I'm deducting half inch as this is sleeveless dress. I'll just extend this point. Mark 1 inch inwards. And again join it to the shoulder slope point. From the top, mark a point at 10.5 inch shoulder to burst measurement. For chest, I'm adding 2 inch of ease. In my measurement, chest round is 31 inch. 31 plus 2 is 33, and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8.25 inch. For burst, I'm adding 3 inch of ease. In my measurement, burst round is 32 inch. 32 plus 3 is 35, and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8.75 inch. For waist, I'm adding 2 inch of ease. In my measurement, waist round is 28 inch. 28 plus 2 is 30, and dividing it by 4, I'll get 7.5 inch. Now I'll join these points. Give slight curve to this pointed shape. Adding seam allowance. Now I'll draw front and back armhole curve. So marking is complete. Now I'll cut it. So I've cut the back bodies. Now I'll cut the front bodies. For front, again I have cut out the required length and I have folded the fabric once in width. From the unfold side, leave 0.25 inch for seam allowance. Now taking this line as center, place the back bodies. Now I'll cut it. I have traced front armhole curve and I'll cut it. Now I'll draw necklines. This is back. Neck width is 3 inch. Neck depth is 6 inch, adding half inch for seam allowance. Again mark neck width point 3 inch. And join these points. For back, I'm making round shape neckline. Now I'll cut it. Now I'll cut the front neckline. Neck width is again 3 inch. Neck depth is 7 inch, adding half inch for seam allowance. Again mark neck width point 3 inch and join these points. Now I'll draw neckline shape. And I'll cut it. So I've cut the neckline. Now I'll cut the front from the center as well. So with this, cutting of bodice is complete. Now I'll cut the bottom. For bottom, I have taken 2 layers of fabric and the length of fabric is full length of dress minus bodice length plus seam allowance plus radius. Now from the top corner, I'll mark the radius, which will be waist round plus ease divided by 3.14, as I'm making half circle skirt. In my measurement, waist round is 28 inch and I'm adding 2 inch of ease, so 28 plus 2 is 30, and dividing it by 4, I'll get around 9.5 inch. So I'll mark a point at 9.5 inch and I'll mark the same point till the other end. Adding 0.25 inch for seam allowance. Now from this point, I'll mark the length of bottom, which will be full length of dress minus bodice length. In my measurement, length is 33 inch and I'm adding around 1 inch for seam allowance. So I'll mark a point at 34 inch. Now keep the measuring tape on the top corner and mark the same point till the other end. So I've marked the measurements. Now I'll cut it. So with this, cutting of dress is complete. Now I'll stitch it. Firstly, I'll attach piping on the front bodies. Now I'll just place piece of piping fabric and I'll make a stitch on both sides to secure it. So I have attached this piece. I have finished back neckline with bias tape. Now place front on the back, right sides together, and stitch shoulder slope on both sides. So I have stitched the shoulder slope and I've also finished both armholes with the piping. Now I'll stitch the side fitting seam on both sides. Firstly, I'll attach the border on the bottom round. I'm using printed fabric as border. Ready width is 4 inch. I've cut out 8.75 inch of width and I've folded the seam allowance of 0.25 inch on one side and folded it by half and ironed it, and I have prepared the length according to the bottom round of half circle skirt, that is around 140 inch. So you need to measure the bottom round of your half circle skirt and cut the border accordingly. Place right side of border on the right side of the skirt bottom and make a stitch. So I made a stitch. Now keep the seam allowance direction towards the border and iron the seam. I have ironed the seam allowance. Now fold the border by half. I've already folded and ironed the seam allowance on this edge. Now I'll make a stitch. So I have attached border on both front and back side. Now I'll stitch the side seam. I've stitched the side seam on the skirt. Now I'll attach the bodies and bottom. I made small cuts on the waist round of the bottom. Now insert right side of bodies into the wrong side of the bottom. Match side and center seam and make a stitch all around the waist.
And with this my dress is completed and this is how it looks. Thanks for watching guys. Hope you like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and do share it with your friends and family, and I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.